Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a super fun addition to my travel album. And as you can see here, I have used two Simple Stories photo flips to create a set of cascading photos on this 6x8 where I have adhered a transparency to a piece of paper from my Always and Forever line from Simple Stories. And so this gives me two pockets where I can put two 4x6s in each side, or each pocket, plus a giant 6x8 photo in the back. So this creates a fun way to include a bunch of photos on one spread. And I'm also going to create a flap here, so it all becomes a sort of folder for all of these photos that are basically the same, the same photos. So I didn't want to dedicate a lot of pockets or a lot of space in the album to all of these photos, even though I love them. So I had two that I really loved, which was this one of Patrick and I toasting while we were waiting for the wedding to start, and then the other one that's upside down right now of all of my siblings and I posing together before the wedding. Then I have some selfies of my sister and I, my dad and I, and then some other posed photos that I wanted to include. So because I had all of these photos, I'm going to create this folder here that is going to just sort of house them all. So right now I am trying to decide which papers I want to use, and I wanted this really pretty blush stripe because it matched the photos so well. I'm going to be covering up that heart in the middle, so I'm not too concerned about that. And I'm going to back this photo with a black and white pinstripe from the Always and Forever line. I'm using Always and Forever and the Beautiful collection from a couple years ago to scrapbook all of these photos because they go together so beautifully. So these are all die cuts from the Beautiful line. And I want to decorate this photo, but of course I don't want to cover us up too much, but there is like a house in the background that I kind of want to cover up. So I'm trying to decide what die cuts I want to use, and I'm going to go with the pretty black and white florals. I think that they will add enough but not distract too much from the photo. So I'm trying to decide how I'm going to cover up that house. So I'm going to use that big old floral there, and then I want some words on this as well. So I'm just sort of figuring out where everything is going to go here. Starting at the beginning, I guess. This is the outside of the folder. And I want to decorate it before I adhere the whole thing together. Make sure I don't cover up the head of my brother. That would not be good. He is the groom after all. I really liked that every moment matters. Like I've said before, thanks to me, we are scattered all over the country now, and so we don't get to see each other a whole lot. This is the first time in 2 years I have seen my siblings, actually longer for my brother, so every moment matters seems about right. I'm going to add these gold stickers instead of the chipboard because this whole thing, just due to the sheer number of photos and things that I'm adding on here, is going to be sort of heavy, so I want to minimize the bulk as much as possible. So I went for the clear stickers over the chipboard. And I'm just using Scotch tape because I want it to be clear to adhere the flap. There we go. And I stuck it underneath the photo so that it wouldn't cover up the photo at all. So you can see that it works very well now, and I'm just going to create some holes, and then I slit the holes towards the outside edge so that when it goes in the binder, and you can see it here, when it goes in the binder it will be able to open still. Perfect. Just was testing that out there. So now I'm ready to work on the inside, and I have these three photos I'm going to be using on that side, but first I want to work on these 4x6s. I'm trying to decide on the order of the photos in these pockets and how they will make sense. I have this photo of the whole family together, which didn't come out great, so that's why it's not the large main photo. But I still wanted to include it. And then I have this photo of all of the boys, and I did it as a 4x4 just so that it wouldn't be so overwhelming with the photos and I could have some white space going on. And then instead of including 2 photos on the other side, I'm going to include the journaling card instead. So it just gives a little bit of breathing room for everything. This photo is taken at the same time as the one of Patrick and I toasting, so I want it to go with on the other side with that photo. So that's why I adhered these back to back. And I'm going to put that together over the main photo, or this front photo, and I'm just kind of looking to see if there's anything else I want to include. I don't want to cover up too much of the photo because obviously I don't want to cover up anyone's face or anything. I'm using liquid glue because the die cut is thin in places and I want it to stick down. I'm just going to include these chipboard hearts that I had already pulled out. There we go, perfect. Now on the other side, I'm just going to start clustering things up in that top left corner, and I'm using one of the pattern blocks from the 4x6 stickers, and I just notched it into a banner, and then I'm going to add Love Us to the top. Then I felt like that wasn't quite enough, so I'm kind of looking around to see if there's anything else I want to add. And I decide on this word strip, so I'm going to have to move everything around so that it all fits together. There we go. Then of course I need something in the bottom corner as well. So I'm going to use these little gold flowers, and I'm going to put one on each side just to frame the whole photo. Then I'm going to work on the next one, which is all the boys, and of course I need to cover up some of that excess space, so I'm just going to build a little cluster here, and it actually took me a minute to figure out what I wanted to do on this side because this wedding collection and the beautiful collection are both pretty feminine, so I didn't know exactly how I wanted to tackle a picture of just the boys. So I'm kind of looking for the most masculine things here. Looking at the 2x2 cards to see if there's anything there. And of course this camera works, but I need more. It's kind of boring. I'm gonna add a little arrow. Looking for maybe a word strip, but there was nothing about just like the men folk that wasn't groomsmen. So I'm gonna add some of these little dots that are meant to be planner stickers, but I'm just using them as decoration, just sort of like a polka dot feel. And I struggle a little bit getting these right. Takes me a minute. That one's a bow tie, so I thought that worked. Thought about maybe adding this bow tie instead, but I couldn't get that circular bow tie off the photo, so that went away. So instead I'm going to add this little heart circle, which matches anyway. Then on the other side is a journaling card, so I don't need to do anything on that side, but I do need to add some stuff to the photo, the big 6x8 photo on the bottom, because I can't just leave well enough alone. You know, I have to decorate all the photos. So I'm going to add something to the bottom right-hand corner, mostly because I wanted to cover up my Apple Watch. I felt it was distracting from my overall look here, so I wanted to do that. So I'm trying to find a tag that will do that. And since I'm covering up that black and white polka dot heart on the other side, I knew that I could use this black and white polka dot heart and it wouldn't be too repetitive. And then of course I had to have the champagne glasses because, hello, that's perfect. So I'm adding those. Then I need something else because it just felt a little bit too contained, I felt. So I'm trying to find something to layer underneath here, and I like these little hearts. So last but not least, I need to create my little collage on this side, and I kind of want it to look like a collage, like less like a scrapbook page, more like I had pasted it into a journal. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the folder on the next video. So I kind of wanted that feel of a collage, sort of, maybe like a traveler's notebook art journal-y feel. So I'm kind of just clustering them all together sort of haphazardly and gluing them all down together so that I don't have to readjust them. Then I'm going to use these black and white florals again and put them around these photos. I really love this effect, and I think it matches the other side really well, so I have a lot of consistency going on for this whole thing. Then I'm going to add amazing here. I really wanted to add this beautiful day too, so I'm trying to find a place for that. Just going to put it right underneath here. Perfect. Trying to decide if I want to add any more florals. I decided I wanted some gold instead, so I'm looking through the gold stickers, but I am going to use those gold bows that I pulled out from the beautiful collection instead. Just kind of looking through, seeing if there's anything else I want to add, like that XOXO. And then these gold bows. Perfect. So now I need to create a tab to make sure that everyone knows they can open this up, because you can't really tell. So I'm going to create a little tab at the top, and I'm going to do that with 2 of these hearts. And I'm just going to staple them back to back on the folder. Because you're going to be using them to pull on the folder, you have to make sure that they're nice and adhered. So I'm going to do that with a staple so that it doesn't fall apart. So this is the whole thing. You can see how it came together. I really enjoyed this process. I really enjoyed adding something a little bit different to this album. This whole album is adding a little bit different, I think, but I'm really enjoying the process of just, thinking outside the box and adding new and fun things to this album and sort of setting myself up for December daily with some ideas. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. Thank you.